Hello, my name is Neil Cole from Conversion Uplift. Today I'm going to show you how to connect Claude to Google Ads. We're going to do it with read-only access. This is partly to protect the user's account, but you can always upgrade this at a later date. This will allow you to read account data in plain English, investigate tracking and performance much faster than doing it manually, but at the same time keep client accounts protected with the read-only access. Also, we'll work across linked accounts using one manager account, so you will need to have a manager account in Google Ads. There are 4 steps in this process. Firstly, setting up Google Cloud project. This will give us the API access and OAuth credentials. A Google Ads Manager account is necessary, and that's for the developer token and client links. Then the Google Cloud secure sign-in on this computer. And finally, the Claude Desktop runs the Google Ads MCP server. To proceed with connecting Claude, you'll need to have these resources ready. So you'll need a Google account with access to your Google Ads account, Claude Desktop, Python, pipex, and Git installed. See my Connect Claude to GA4 blog or video if you want to see how you do these. And you'll need admin access to Google Workspace and about probably an hour for setup, possibly more, because there's often issues as you proceed through this process. But we'll deal with those as we go. So the first thing we need to do is set up a Google Cloud project. Now we've already got one set up, and it's the MCP Analytics connection. Make sure you're in the same Google Cloud project all the way through the process. It's quite easy sometimes. Google switches projects as you go through. So the first thing we need to do is set up the enabling the Google Ads API. So at the top of the screen there's a search box. So just type in Google Ads API, and it's come up there, Marketplace. So we click on that. And we need just to enable it. Takes a couple of seconds. And now that's enabled Google Ads API. That's showing that was enabled. So next we go to the OAuth consent screen. And we need to use the same project. So make sure we're MCP Analytics. And we need to fill in the app information. So give it a recognizable name. So we'll start by get started and give it a recognizable name such as Google Ads MCP. And you've got the support email. Just select your own email there. And click next, and the audience is for internal use. Now actually that should be external, so but it sets the app information as external, and click on next. And we've got the contact information, so put our email address. And then we click next. Finish. So we'll now just create the app. Just take a couple of seconds. So next we need to go to the audience. And we need to publish the app, because otherwise the token will expire after 7 days, which could cause some issues. We just need to confirm that. Just a couple of seconds. And that's published. We now go to clients, and we need to create a desktop app. We now create a new client, We need to choose desktop as the type of app, and we'll give it a name. So again, maybe call it Google Ads MCP, something similar to that. And we create that, and now we need to get the key and the ID. So we'll save that somewhere. You should also download the JSON secret key, because then you can use PowerShell to access it. Okay, so we'll just okay that. Don't put it into any sort of app or any public folder. So I'll need to create a new key, because obviously this is now in the public domain. So just okay that. Next, we need to go to your Google Ads Manager account. So this is where you manage all your links to your different individual Google Ads accounts. So we need to go to the admin area here and the API Center and complete the form. I've already completed it, but essentially you complete the API access form, user monitored email, company name, working website URL, and choose the agency /SEM as the company type. So describe your use accurately, and read-only reporting and diagnostics across the accounts you manage. That's essentially what we'll be doing. So I've already got the token now set up. So again, copy that, you can view token here, copy that, save it somewhere secure, and you'll need that later. You then need to request access to link your MCC account to client Google Ads accounts. So this can take days or weeks in some cases, so the sooner you do it, the better. So go to it, accounts, and you want sub accounts here, and you can basically click on plus here to link an account. So create a new manager account, create a new account, or link an existing account. That's what you want to do. And so you put the detail in here. So basically you put the account ID in here, and then press send request. But say that can take a few days or weeks even. So the sooner you do it, the better. So it then allows you to test the whole process. You need some accounts linked to your MCC account before you can actually test the process. But I suppose you could link your own ads account to it, which is what we've done. So at least you can test it on your own ads account. Now we need to install Google Cloud Installer. So in the blog post below this video, you'll see a link to it. So you just need to paste that into Google. So you've got two options here. You can either download the installer for Windows, or you can use this command for PowerShell. So if we copy that, and then if we go to open and type in PowerShell, get PowerShell, that opens up a window. Should drag over here, and we can paste this into PowerShell. Don't worry about the warning, just paste anyway, that's just standard. And then it opens the installer in another window for you, and then we can follow the process through here. Click next on this, and then we just need to accept the terms and conditions, so agree. And next. Next again. Leave the bundled Python clicked, and then you can click install. take a few seconds. So we'll just pause this. So that's run almost. Once it finishes, we'll close all the PowerShell windows and open a new one. So we'll just leave it to finish, and that has installed. So we can click on next. We can finish that. So we need to close the existing PowerShell window, and we can open a new one. So let's go to start. Type in PowerShell. Power comes up. Open a new window. I'll just drag mine across, and then in the blog post again, there's a prompt just to put gcloud version, and that just confirms that the CLI has been downloaded successfully. We now sign in with the ad scope using the script in the blog below. So here you need to make sure the secret key location is correct for your device. So mine, it's c/keys/ and then the name of the secret key which I saved and downloaded. So I've called it Google Ads MCP, and it's a JSON file. So we'll run that, and this should open up a window to log into our Google Ads account. So to continue, yes. And let's open a browser. I'll just drag it across here. So that's our one actually. Let's just do that again actually. So this is the correct browser, correct email address. So we just sign in using our email address for our Google Ads account. Okay, I'll try again. Let's log it in. And we need to try verification, so we'll just do this. So we put the verification code in for Google, and that confirms that it's Google Ads MCP, wants access to your Google accounts. That's all good. We'll just confirm that. So we'll allow that. So this allows for edit, create, and delete your Google Ads accounts. And you're now authenticated with Google Cloud CLI. That's good. We now get to the final step where we add the server to the Claude Desktop. So we need to open Claude and go to the three lines, the burger menu, and go to File, and then it's Settings, and then it's Developer, and then it's the Edit Config. So this opens up the config file for Claude, or it takes you to it, and then you need to open it. Now, if you've got a completely empty config, then you can just paste the full script that's in the blog post below in, provided you've added your Google Project ID, your Google Ads Developer Token, and also your Google Ads Login Customer ID. And that needs to be without the dashes, so that should just be pure numbers. And make sure there's no empty spaces, particularly between the quotation marks for each ID or token. They often appear when you paste the tokens or IDs in, but it won't work if there's any spaces. So we haven't got that situation. We've got quite a full config already. So what I tend to do is I copy and paste the whole config into Claude and ask it to basically come back with a new config script. that incorporates the new MCP server, but doesn't break anything. So I do a Control-C and copy it into Claude, and then I would make sure that it's all checked out first before I change anything. So I would close this down without saving anything and go back to Claude. So just close that window down, and then I would paste in the full script. So this is current Claude config file. I need to add a new Google Ads MCP script. So what I'll do is I'll paste that in. So that's the full script. Output. This is the new Google Ads MCP script. And then I'll go to my document where I've got all the new script with all my IDs and tokens in, and then I'll paste that into there and ask it to check it. So I'll just do that while I pause this. So I just let that run a second, and that will go off and provide me with an amended script. So that's generated an amended script. Notice there was a missing brace, closing brace, which is good to know. And so now we go back to File and Settings and Developer and the Edit Config. So it takes us to the file, so we need to open that. We can now delete that existing one, paste in the new one, and then we need to do File, Save, and close it fully. So make sure you do file save, because otherwise if you close it, that's why it doesn't save it properly. And then we can close this down, close that, and then we need to close Claude down completely. So I find the best way to close Claude down completely is not just close that with the X. You should really go to File and Exit, but I actually find that even that doesn't always seem to reset everything. So I tend to do a Control-Alt-Delete and use the Task Manager. So where's the Task Manager gone? It's over here. So I use the Task Manager and then click on Claude and press delete, and that closes it completely. And that's what you need to do. And then you can reopen Claude, and it should reset the config file. You could again retest it by copy and paste the config file into Claude and ask it to just double check that everything's correct. But we're going to try and reopen Claude. Let's think about it. Yep, it has reopened. And so if we click on the plus here and then go to connectors, we should see the analyse MCP and Claude we got that from Google. So yeah. So we just need to check that it's actually definitely works before we test it. If we started Claude again, didn't see the connector in the connectors in here. So we've got Analytics MCP. We don't have Google Ads, so we didn't, but now it has appeared. So it just shows sometimes you need to restart it a couple of times. So it has appeared now, Google Ads. You can also, so really, if you should go back to File, here up here in the main menu, and go to Settings, and then in the developer, there is actually here, it should show you the MCP connection, server connections, and we've got Google Ads has appeared as well here now. So in the Analytics MCP is the GA4, which you can review my blog and video for setting up the connection with GA4 separately. So that actually looks really positive now. It does seem to have saved, but I had to close it down a couple of times. It didn't work first time. So now we can do a new test to check that it's definitely actually bringing in data. So if we start a new conversation, we can use the prompts that are in the blog. So copy that. So we'll actually ask it to look at the Google Ads server account and list accessible customers and show the customer IDs. So I will just pause it while I run that. Let's just check that it works. And it's run that successfully. It's come up with 23 customer IDs accessible to authenticated Google Ads accounts. So that's worked fine. That's great. So we can now start using our MCP server access. Now you've got the Google Ads MCP server set up. It's really down to you now to link as many of your clients' Google Ads accounts to your manager account so that you can start using the connection with Claude to manage and audit and debug your Google Ads account. So I hope you found this video useful, and I'll be creating more videos soon to do with analytics and AI. Thank you. Goodbye.